Happy Friday, powerful leaders. I hope you had an amazing week. I'm so excited for today's new episode. This next guest is a certified holistic health coach, Army veteran, and mother of two. And her interest in wellness was sparked by her own personal battle with chronic illness, which manifested after 5 years of service in the Canadian Armed Force, and she is just an amazing, incredible woman, and she really helps her clients with that mind body spirit connection, as well as really taking a more compassionate approach towards a balanced food and self-care, and really being kind and acceptance with ourselves in our journey. And I know you're going to get so much value from this interview. So without further ado, let's welcome Amanda Diamond. Welcome to the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Patricia Bourgeois, certified business coach. I am here to help you up-level, generate consistent wealth, increase your confidence, attract dream clients, and master your mindset so that you can fully own your power and achieve next-level results in your online business and beyond. Every week, a powerful conversation will take place with amazing guests, or I'll share from my experience to help inspire you to start and scale the business of your dreams while being powerfully you. The time has come to stop playing small, stop hiding, and stop waiting. Now is the perfect time for you to passionately pursue your heart's desire as the powerful leader you were born to be. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another powerful episode with a powerful woman that I'm so excited to introduce to you. Hey, Amanda, how are you?
Hi, Anna. I'm so good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to chat.
Yes, me too. I've been excited all day, and I hope I can bring a little bit of value to
Yeah,
your audience.
for sure. I have no doubt. So let's start by you sharing with us who you are, what you do, and what got you into what it is that you do.
Yeah, okay. So I always find this question hard to answer because, like you, I am kind of a multifaceted entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm a mom of two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an military veteran. Um,
Mm-hmm.
an intuitive artist, writer, and holistic health coach. And
Mm.
all of those hats kind of come on and off throughout my days, weeks, and years.
Mm.
and um, yeah, I just am really passionate about helping people live healthier, happier, more vibrant lives. And that's really at the root of everything that I
Mm.
do, I would say.
Wow, I love that. Okay, so there's so much to unpack here. Like, I'm so curious. So, you said you are an army veteran. Like, that's amazing. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
So, I want you to share with us like a bit about your experience in the army and what it taught you, and what do you take away from that?
Yeah. Okay. I love that you asked me that. I love answering that
Yeah.
question. Um, I joined the military at 19 years old, and
Oh, wow.
it was part in part to get out and see the world, experience something
Mm.
new, get out of my
Mhm.
little town, and to push myself. I really wanted to push myself and
Mhm.
kind of see what I was capable of. But
Mm.
I've also always had a strong desire to help and be
Mm.
of service to the world. So that was the route I took,
Mm.
and um, ultimately, after about 5 years of service, I recognized that that environment was not
Mm.
helping me to be my best version of me.
Mm.
and decided to step away. But the lessons that I learned while I was there were
Mhm.
invaluable to me. Um,
Mm.
you know, I realized, I recognized how much our brain will tell us to stop,
Mm.
um, you know, thousands of times before your body actually does. And I think that that lesson was the most valuable takeaway from that whole experience, was that I was
Mhm.
capable of so much, even
Mm.
when my brain was telling me to stop, or when I was scared, or when I was uncomfortable or anxious.
Mhm.
Um, it was an environment where I was just pushed to keep going. And
Mm.
that in itself, I think so many people, and I'm sure you experience this in your work that you do too,
Mm.
that
Yeah.
so many people are capable of so much and they just don't realize like how much greatness they have inside them.
Totally. Ugh, I love that you said that. It's like building that resiliency is like so key for anything in life. And when you have that, it's like you become more consistent and you become unstoppable, right? Because you know you're capable of so much and you know like in your gut that if you just keep going, like the sky's the limit or not even the limit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, there is no limit. Like, and every failure is just like a chance
Mhm.
to look at what you did and say, okay, that didn't work, and try something
Mhm.
new, right? Like there is,
Exactly.
you only fail if you stop, basically.
Mm, exactly. And I know you had some personal battles with chronic illness, and I guess that's what pushed you to, be a holistic health coach. Am I right?
Yeah. So once I left the military and decided this
Mhm.
really wasn't the path for me, and I think the biggest thing was that I am very much a feeler and
Mm.
an out of the box kind of thinker. And I realized this environment is way too much in the box for me. And and so I went in the complete opposite direction, and I started following my art path. And I've been an
Mm.
artist my whole life. And I actually got into tattooing after the military and started a tattoo business. And I opened my own shop. And within a few years of starting that endeavor, I started to get sick. And
Mm.
I started to experience these digestive symptoms, and they were getting more severe and more noticeable. And I was seeing doctor after doctor, going for test
Mhm.
after test, and the wait time in between tests. And it took me 2 years to get about 2 years to get a diagnosis. I
Mm.
was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition called ulcerative colitis, which is
Mhm.
similar to Crohn's disease. Um,
Mm.
just a lot of inflammation in my digestive system. And it
Mhm.
really kind of put the brakes on for me. Well, I mean, I was a single mom at the time. I was running my business,
Mm.
and then dealing with this illness and trying to juggle everything. And
Yeah.
I remember I was on 3 different medications, and it wasn't
Mhm.
really, none of them were really helping. And I remember getting to a point at my lowest where I would just not eat during the day
Mm.
because I needed to get up and go to work and see my clients. And the pain that I felt when I would try to digest food was so great that it just felt better to be hungry all day. And
Oh.
that was, I think back to that as like my rock bottom moment where I was like, I need to
Yeah.
figure this out. I need to do something differently.
Yeah, totally. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. Like, you have been through a lot, and the fact that you are still here and still helping people, like, it's just amazing, and you're so inspiring. And I know that for you, there's a lot of like interconnection with, the mind, body, and spirit. So, can you
Hmm.
tell us more about that and how you approach health with that holistic view?
Yeah. So basically, if my experience, I became my own guinea pig. I was ready to start learning about how
Mhm.
to better support my body. And I found some great practitioners that I started working with. And I changed my diet drastically, but I also changed my lifestyle because
Mm.
I started to learn that the link between chronic illness, autoimmunity, and stress and trauma, and the years of chronic stress I had been dealing with, it was all interconnected. So I started to see that how important it all was, and that simply taking a pill for the rest of your life was not the answer, right? And it certainly wasn't the answer for me. And I know there's a lot of other people out there who are in the same boat dealing with the same kind of struggles. So it just really
Mhm.
made me want to help people. And
Yeah.
so I went back to school. While I had my second baby, I still owned my tattoo shop, and I went back
Wow.
to school and I started learning about nutrition and
Mhm.
integrative medicine and holistic health, and how it really is all connected.
Mm.
And I have just continued to learn since then. That was 8 years ago, and I've continued to learn all I can, and kind of just deepen my knowledge of how to
Mhm.
help people, um,
Mhm.
and what I know now, looking back at my situation. Because when I got sick, I remember thinking, like, I don't deserve this. I eat pretty healthy. I exercise. Like, I'm doing all the right things. Like, why is this
Mhm.
happening? And I look back now and I realize that it was the chronic stress and trauma, and
Mm.
pushing myself too hard and not resting that really triggered my
Mm.
disease to present itself. And so now that's what I teach to my clients, that you can eat as much kale as you want, but if you're not dealing with your chronic stress and the underlying emotions and the nervous system,
Mhm.
and like all of those things are so important.
Yes. Amen. Like, of course, it's important. Yeah, it makes all the difference when you have that awareness and when you are able to truly work with your nervous system, because sometimes we don't even realize how like burnout we are until we take a second and we're like, wait a second, like I need to rest, So having that awareness, I think it's crucial for your health and your well-being.
Absolutely. And I find that, I work with women, and
Mhm.
as women, we are the head of our family, the head of our households.
Mhm.
So much falls on our shoulders. And so many of the women I talk
Mm.
to say, I know if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. So I just do everything. And they run
Mm.
themselves ragged trying to manage everything and everyone. And
Mm.
but they really don't put a lot of energy into looking after themselves and their body, and resting and listening to their body. And it's
Mhm.
not just about going for the occasional pedicure. That's not enough when we're talking about self-care, right? It has to be
Mm.
more.
Mhm. Yeah, so leave the dishes in the sink, leave the clothes there. Like, you don't need to do it right now. Like, your energy, your mental health is so much more important. Like, you can always do it later. It's not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah,
Like, we put
absolutely. And we
Yeah,
don't
like,
need to be the last thing on the priority list, because that's where most of the women that come to
mhm.
me, that's where they're sitting, is the
Yeah.
absolute bottom of the to-do list, right?
Yeah, put yourself first and fill your own cup first, for sure.
Absolutely.
I love that. So, I ask this to everyone who comes on the show. For you, what does it mean to be a powerful leader?
I think to be a powerful leader, we have to get comfortable with who we are
Mm,
authentically and
mhm,
start showing up as that person. I
mhm,
realize in my business endeavors over the
mhm,
last 13 years of me being an entrepreneur
mhm,
that when I started out, I attempted to put everyone first, like we were
mm,
just saying, and put
mhm,
everyone else's needs and give people what they wanted. But ultimately, that's not how you show up as your best version, highest version of yourself. In order
mhm,
to lead people, you have to get comfortable with who you really are and
mhm.
practice showing up as that authentic version of yourself as much as possible. And I know it's easy to say, but maybe a little harder to do consistently.
Yeah. So what have helped you show up powerfully?
Well, I think like it's as funny as it is, my illness was a gift. And
Mm.
that's how I view it now, because it it kind of stopped me in my tracks and changed my perspective of life and the world. And
Mhm.
I know now that I can't push myself to the all out, brink
Mhm.
anymore, because I know what will happen. And I maintain my health with my diet and lifestyle choices and looking after me and resting. I've been medication free for 9 years and in remission. And
Wow.
in order to maintain that, I know that I need to balance and I need to listen to
Mm.
my body, and those little whispers that my body sends to me, I
Mm.
better listen to those or they'll become screams, right?
Mm.
And so that's how I'm able to kind of maintain my more authentic self, and my
Mm.
best version of me is by looking after me first and not feeling guilty about it.
Yes, I love it. This is amazing. So, I want you to share like a story or a client result because your clients must be like so happy to work with you,
I like
learning
to
from
think they
you.
are.
Yeah. So, do you have like a client result that come to mind that you would love to share with us?
Well, I think that a lot of my clients, like I said, are very similar when they come to me.
Yeah.
Their health is, not where they want it to be. They're struggling with things,
Yeah.
whether that be like burnout, exhaustion. A lot of times, what can happen with women in their midlife is when we're
Mhm.
not looking after ourselves properly, then we start to gain a little bit of extra weight, and that makes us feel
Mm.
uncomfortable. And so that's really common. But I think and I help my clients with all of those things. I help them
Mhm.
to create healthier habits to
Mhm.
better support their body so that their body can respond and improve in all the ways they want it to. But
Mhm.
I think that the biggest compliment that I have gotten a few times now from a few clients is that I helped them discover so many more beautiful things about themselves.
Mm.
And that just makes it, everything worth it to me, because yes, we need to look after ourselves physically, but it's so much more than that, right? And
Mhm.
I find that through the work that I do and helping people to put themselves first, make themselves a priority,
Mhm.
they start to also prioritize their own needs, whether that be
Mm.
like their needs in relationships or creativity or spirituality, right? Like all of this stuff tends to get put on the back burner.
Mm.
And when you really teach a woman to start looking after themselves and standing in their power and putting themselves first, it's like their whole world starts to change. And that's
Yeah.
my favorite part to witness.
I love it for sure because it pours into every area, right? Because if you start doing it in one area, then you feel much more confident to be like, hey, what about this right here? Like, I want to make this a priority too, right? So I love that.
Yeah.
It's all
And then
connected.
and the people around us, right? Because like I
Yeah.
like to see like I think of women and moms especially, they're kind of at the top and everything trickles down, right?
Hmm.
The choices they make affect their family's health and their family's
Mm.
relationships. So when they start working on themselves, then everybody in their life starts to benefit, which is just this like magical
Mm.
ripple effect that happens.
Yes, I love it. Ah, this is so good. Such a refreshing conversation. And yeah, like, do you have, any last piece of wisdom, something you truly want to share with our audience today?
I think probably for anyone that is resonating with this conversation and
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of the time we know what we need to do. We just
Mm.
can't make ourselves do it. So many women I speak to will say like I know that I'm not making myself a priority, but they just get caught in this kind of pattern or rut, and
Mm.
I think that to those women I would say there's never going to be a right time. There's never going to be a perfect time. We always tend to look at our schedule and say, "Oh, I think I might do something about that," in the fall
Mhm.
when life slows down. Like I hear that all the time. And the truth is, there will always be something. There's never going to be a perfect time to
Yep.
start prioritizing yourself and your health. It's just a decision that you have to make for yourself. And once you make it, that can be the most important decision that you have made in your life. But it's up to you to like
Mm.
take that step and initiative and decide like enough is enough.
Yes, you gotta go for it. You gotta take that leap. Just go in that discomfort, lead in that discomfort, but always bet on yourself. Like, this is truly the best advice ever.
Yeah, and I think like I love that lean into the discomfort because
Yeah.
everything new is always going to be uncomfortable, right? And
Yep.
we hear the quotes that say, nothing good comes from your comfort zone or growth happens
Mhm.
outside of your comfort zone. And it's absolutely true. And
Mhm.
I would also add in, you need to push yourself with compassion, you know,
Mm.
push yourself out of that comfort zone, but be compassionate with yourself when it doesn't look perfect or it's a little bit messy, right? Because
Mm.
that perfectionism kind of mindset can really hold us back too.
Yes. Ah, that compassion piece is crucial. Like I used to be really hard on myself, like you said, like that perfectionism, and I'm also like a really high achieving person. So I'm like, oh,
Mm.
let's go, let's do it. I want to achieve this and do that, and this is my goal. And then you go, 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 do. And then you're like, wait a second, like, let me just enjoy, the little wins, the little, things that happen that make me feel proud. And, you gotta take that time and really be compassionate with yourself and how much you've come so far already too,
Yeah,
right?
because all progress is progress, like no matter
Yeah,
how fast or slow it happens.
exactly. Oh, so good. You're so amazing. Like, I'm sure people listening to this are going to be like, where can I follow Amanda? Where can I see her services, her programs? So let us know where we can go to do that.
Yeah, so I love to share tips and helpful kind of advice
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram at Coach Amanda Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also find some resources that I share on my website at amandadiamond.com. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I I have some freebies, some free resources in there to kind of help you get started. I find that most women that I talk to are really feeling exhausted and burnt out. And so, what they
Mm-hmm.
need first is help to regain their energy. So, I have this
Mm.
free guide that gives you all of these energy hacks to try and better support your body and get your energy levels up so that you can then start doing
Mm-hmm.
more of what you want to do and be who you want to be. So you can grab that freebie on my website at amandadiamond.com.
Amazing. Yeah, that 3 p.m. crash, like I need that guide.
Absolutely. And there's, funny enough, that's so common, but there are some really easy
Yeah.
habit shifts that you can make to prevent that.
Ooh, now I'm curious. Yeah, definitely downloading that. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It was a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And I love the work that you do and the energy that you put out into the world. I find it's really inspiring, magnetic, amazing. So thank you so much. I appreciate having me here.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that. You're gonna make me cry. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Powerful Female Leaders podcast. If you love this episode, make sure to spread the message, leave a review, and subscribe. I would forever be grateful for you. I also want to hear from you, and I want to know your feedback and your questions for future episodes. So don't be shy, say hi, and send me a message at Powerful Female Leaders Podcast on Instagram. Until then, I'll see you on the next episode.